listening to I Am Refocused Radio with your host, Shamaya Reed. This show is designed to inspire you to live your purpose and regain your focus. And now, here's your host, Shamaya Reed.
Hey, welcome to I Am Refocused Radio. We are here once again today. Man, we have a true honor talking to our special guest. I don't know if I have time to give his bio, but I'm going to do my best. We have Grammy-winning songwriter, producer Desmond Child. He's the author of the new amazing book, Livin On A Prayer, Big Songs, Big Life. Sir, you have so many hits, so many great things that you've done in the industry. First and foremost, thank you for your time today. How you doing?
Oh, thank you so much. I love your voice. Oh my God. I want to make a record with you. You sound amazing.
Man, I appreciate that. And that's a big blessing this morning to hear from a legend yourself. So, man, first and foremost, this amazing book tells your amazing story being this career. Tell us a little bit about your goal and your focus for this book for the readers.
Well, it started 7 years ago, so I call it my 7-year jailhouse confession. It's become a real reckoning. So it's not like, and then I did this, and then I did that. I hate books that just brag like that. I just had to be real about, what I was going through internally, as I weaved my way through the music business. And, there's a lot of very personal stuff, especially about my mom and how I grew up poor in the projects of Liberty City in Miami and, in the Cuban exile community and all that. And also growing up being gay, was not easy. And so I had to overcome all of, poverty, Latino, gay. I had to overcome all of that to break through the glass ceiling to make it, on the world scene.
Your resume is so impressive. I'm talking to a true legend. I don't even know where to start, but help me out. When it came to working with some of the best artists of our time, how do you unpack that, looking back and reflecting on how the massive success you were able to sustain throughout your whole career?
I think it's really, like I always say, sometimes it's like, you have to have, 50% talent and 50% hustle. But the truth is you have to have way more hustle than talent to make it. And I'm just, I grew up so poor and my mom was a songwriter and she never made it big. And, she was hoping to pull us out of poverty, with a hit song. So she was always living every day to try to write that hit song. So I was able to fulfill that dream for her. And, eventually I bought, she wanted us to be in a mansion on Miami Beach. I bought 4 and she lived in one of them and she lived like a queen. So I got to live that American dream. And so I think that, I've been extraordinarily lucky. And I guess I'm kind of an empath. Like when people meet me, they like, well, most people like me. And so I get them to, start telling me about their life. I'm interested. And so, stars love to talk about themselves. And that becomes the lyrics to the songs we write.
We're talking to Desmond Child once again about his amazing new project book that you can get is Livin On A Prayer, Big Songs, Big Life. When it comes to the challenges that you face in your career, you mentioned being gay and living your life, your true self. How did you use those challenges as motivating opportunities for yourself?
Well, it was very hard to get jobs as a producer because it's okay to be a collaborator, because you're like on equal footing, let's say. But hetero rock bands did not want a gay guy dick slapping them in the studio, into submission. The producer is the boss. And so what I started getting was kind of like a lot of solo and female artists who were kind of androgynous, like Cher and Alice Cooper, Joan Jett, then Ricky Martin, it's like, and so eventually, when rock started to kind of die, all the bands started coming to me, but it was like too late. Nirvana had drawn the line And it was, Smells Like Teen Spirit 24/7 on VH1. And, it was very hard to continue in that kind of rock. So that's when I went to Florida and started in with Latin music, which I knew from, growing up Latin, and also going to Nashville. And I started working there, and I got Garth Brooks to cut one of my songs with Trisha Yearwood. So, to me, style is not it. It's the story. The story is number one. The lyrics are number one. My mentor, Bob Crew, who wrote all the big hits with Bob Gaudio for the Four Seasons, and he wrote Voulez-vous coucher avec moi, right? He always told me that the lyrics were the script. Then you make the movie, and then you put the score in. So to him, always the music was the second sister. It's all about the meaning of the song, the story. Then the music orchestrates it, or like scores it. And the closer you are with the music to the feeling of the lyric, the more successful it's going to be.
Your title, Livin On A Prayer, Big Songs, Big Life. How did you have the honors and opportunity to narrow it down to that title for your project?
I just knew right away that I wanted to call my book Livin On A Prayer, because my life has been a prayer. It's been, a spiritual journey. And, that's why it was appropriate. And, big songs, because, Livin On A Prayer is a big song, and there were others. But, my life was way bigger than my songs. I mean, the things that I experienced, I think that story needed to be told, because my husband and I have twin sons, Roman and Nero, who are now 21 years old, and they're in college at NYU, where I ended up graduating. And I wanted them to have, something they could read and get to know me, And so I put a lot of myself and very personal things in the book, because right now I'm just daddy with the open checkbook. So someday maybe they'll read the book.
When people look at your life and they read this book, learning more about you in a more intimate way, what do you hope will inspire people and also allow them to appreciate from you?
I think that what I'm hoping that people will come away with is energized, because in the end, after all the things that I went through, I really have been able to create a beautiful, happy life with my husband and our sons. And, that everybody, can reach for their dream and not, as long as you don't give up on it, because, dreams are free, right? Keep dreaming. And then your dreams will come true.
Last question, man. I still pinch myself talking to a legend, Desmond Child himself, talking to us about his book, Livin On A Prayer, Big Songs, Big Life. Last question for you. You mentioned about dream and work. What will you say for those out there who feel like they are a misfit, that they are outside? What will you say to them to encourage them to keep pressing forward?
Well, I wrote a song called Weird with Hanson, these little blonde boys from the Midwest. I don't know where they're from. But the song for me was all about, being, born poor, born Latino, born gay, being non-conforming. That song is, to me, so meaningful. And what I say is, be yourself, and everything will work out. Just be true to yourself, because people love, authenticity. People love truth in the end. They might not like to hear it at first, but then they respect you because you didn't try to fake your way through life. So be yourself, and it will all work out.
Livin On A Prayer, Big Songs, Big Life, the new memoir by the author Desmond Child. He's amazing, doing great things, and true legend. Man, thank you so much for your busy time, taking time talking to us today, man.
Thank you so much.